Hey there. So let's talk about something that's literally all around you, shaping your every move. But you probably never even think about it. It's facility layout. It's kind of like this invisible blueprint that controls the flow of everything, from the grocery store to the factory floor, and it even affects how you feel in a space. All right, let's get into it.
Take a place like the Amazon Go store. You just walk in, you grab what you want, and you leave. That's it. No lines, no checkout. That super seamless experience, it's a total masterclass in modern facility layout. It's all powered by some seriously smart tech that's optimizing everything in the background. I mean, you know the feeling, right? Think about an airport where you just glide right to your gate, no problem. Now think about a chaotic store where you can't find a single thing you're looking for. That feeling, whether it's total ease or just pure frustration, that's usually a direct result of layout design. And as you're starting your career, this is one of those core concepts you'll see pop up everywhere.
So how do you get it right? Well, here's our game plan. We'll start with the invisible blueprint to understand what facility layout really is. Then we'll look at 4 ways to build out a manufacturing space. We're going to master the assembly line by learning how to balance it. Then we'll step beyond the factory floor into our everyday lives. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with your layout takeaway.
Okay, first things first. Let's pull back the curtain on this so-called invisible blueprint. Getting this is so important because, layout isn't just about making a place look tidy. It's a huge strategic decision that can literally make or break a business.
So what is it officially? Well, facility layout is the whole process of deciding where everything goes. We're talking entire departments down to a single machine or desk. The main goal? It's pretty simple. Arrange all those pieces to get the smoothest, most efficient flow you possibly can.
And listen, this is definitely not guesswork. A really good layout is built on hard data. Before you place a single thing, you have to know what your objectives are, you've got to estimate your demand, understand all your processing needs, and get a super clear picture of the space you have versus the space you need.
Now let's see how all that thinking turns into actual physical layouts. In manufacturing, there are basically 4 main formats. Think of them like a toolkit, where each tool is designed for a very specific job.
Our first tool is the work center, sometimes called a job shop. So picture a custom woodworker. They'd probably have all their saws in one area, all their sanders in another, and all their painting stuff in a totally separate spot. This setup is absolutely perfect when you're making lots of different products, but not a huge quantity of any single one.
And this right here is a perfect example of how data makes everything more efficient. See the chart on the left? It's tracking how many trips are made between different departments. You take that data, you analyze it, and you create a layout like the one on the right, where you put the departments with the most back and forth right next to each other. It's all about cutting down on wasted time and movement.
Next up, we've got 2 tools that are related but different. On the left, you have the classic assembly line, or a flow shop. Think about building a car. It's just a straight shot designed to pump out a massive volume of one specific thing. But on the right, you have a manufacturing cell. This one is a pretty clever hybrid. You group different types of machines together to produce a whole family of similar products. It gives you way more flexibility than a standard assembly line.
And our last tool is the project layout. This is what you use when your product is just way too big to move around. We're talking about building an airplane, or a ship, or even a skyscraper. The product itself stays put, and everything else, the people, the materials, the heavy equipment, it all comes to the product.
Okay, let's zoom in on the most famous layout of all, the assembly line. The real secret to making one work isn't just setting it up, it's the art of balancing it to squeeze out every last drop of efficiency. Balancing an assembly line is a really systematic process. First, you have to map out every single task and the exact order they need to happen in. Then, you figure out your cycle time. This is like the heartbeat of the whole line. From there, you calculate the absolute minimum number of workstations you need, you start assigning tasks to them, and finally, you step back and see just how efficient your setup actually is. Let's walk through an example.
So let's say our goal is to assemble 500 of these Model J wagons every single day. This chart here is called a precedence graph, and it's step 1. It's basically a visual recipe. You can see right away that tasks A and D can get started immediately, but you can't even touch task B until task A is totally finished. All right, now for step 2, cycle time. Based on our goal of 500 wagons a day, we do the math and figure out that a brand new wagon needs to roll off the line every 50.4 seconds. This number is everything. It's the absolute maximum amount of time any single workstation can spend on its tasks. It's the ticking clock for the entire operation. So this is where the puzzle solving really begins. We start bundling those individual tasks into workstations, and the one golden rule is that no station can take longer than 50.4 seconds. Here's one possible solution using 5 workstations. And check out Station 2. It's at 50 seconds flat, right up against the limit. That really shows you the challenge of balancing.
And the final result? Well, our 5-station assembly line is running at an efficiency of 77%. Now that's pretty good, but remember, our calculations suggested a theoretical minimum of 4 stations. So while this setup works, a great manager would be looking at this and thinking, how can we reshuffle things to get even closer to 100%?
Now, these ideas about flow and efficiency, they are not just for factories. Not at all. They are everywhere. Let's take a look at how they're being used in the stores and offices you walk into every single day.
Have you ever noticed how different stores just have a different vibe? On the left, you've got your standard grid layout, just like a grocery store. It's super efficient for stocking shelves and for shoppers who have a list and know what they want. But on the right, you have a more angular, free-form layout, like you might find in a boutique. It's designed to make you wander around and discover things. Both are very deliberate choices, designed to influence how you behave.
And there is a ton of research behind all of this. For example, we know that most shoppers instinctively walk around the perimeter of a store. And that's exactly why the milk is almost always in the back corner. It forces you to walk past tons of other stuff to get it. None of this is an accident. It's all calculated layout strategy.
And the exact same thinking applies to offices. The whole trend of open-plan offices isn't just about saving money on building walls. The real strategic goal is to change the flow of information by making it easier for people to have those spontaneous conversations and collaborations.
So we've seen layouts in action from the assembly line to the Apple Store. What's the one big thing you should take away from all of this?
Here it is. Facility layout is not just interior design. It is a fundamental strategic business choice. The right layout can slash costs, boost efficiency, and make the experience better for customers and employees. The wrong one just creates bottlenecks, frustration, and a whole lot of waste.
And that brings us right back to where we started. With tech like we saw in the Amazon Go store, our movements can be tracked and analyzed in real time. So the big question I want to leave you with is this. As this data becomes more and more common, how are the stores, offices, and maybe even the cities of the future going to be dynamically redesigned all around us?